All right, welcome back to another episode of Two Plain Sports. We took a little bit longer break there between videos. Nothing was happening in our defense, but something's finally going in the right direction for Oklahoma, picking up their first, or I guess their second transfer pickup of this portal season. Luke Baklenko, right tackle out of Stanford. We're going to talk about what he brings to Oklahoma, how many more offensive linemen Oklahoma could potentially add in this recruiting class. Let's go. All right. So it's finally nice that things are going in Oklahoma's direction, don't you think, Bonnet?
Yeah, I mean today was a better day than we've had so far in the portal. Yeah, it's nice to get a win. You kind of beat Ohio State twice today, which is kind of fun, but that's better than losing.
That's true. I mean, if people had access to our text messages between us, they would think we don't like each other because we have just been bickering back and forth for like 4 days because we've been going through our ups and downs of emotions on how we feel about this transfer portal season.
Yeah, I've been texting
Um,
Alex too. He's a friend of the show, been here a couple times. Pretty much just being a mega Debbie Downer with how things are going right now, and starting to lose a little bit of faith. But on this program, I keep it positive.
well, that's what we're going to do today because, as I mentioned at the top of the video, we're going to talk about Luke Baklenko, right tackle out of Stanford, Oklahoma's second portal edition. If you don't know who the first portal edition was, which we should have made a video on him, really, because he might be a big weapon if we had Seth Luttrell
Let's hope
back
he's
on the
not a
staff.
big weapon.
Punter, I can't remember his name, but punter out of Kennesaw State was Oklahoma's first transfer portal edition.
Jacob
Now
Unruh or something. Ulrich,
Ehrlich,
Ehrlich, yeah.
yes, yeah, him, respectfully. But we're going to talk about a tackle who Oklahoma, some may say desperately needed, others would say Oklahoma needed at least as a depth piece because you don't know what you have, especially at the right tackle spot. Luke mainly played right tackle at Stanford over his last 2 years, played five games as a freshman. Last year contributed more regularly, playing 627 snaps at right tackle and basically like 34 at left.
That, yeah.
So to an extent, a swing tackle, but mainly right tackle, which is where Oklahoma is looking to get some help with since you have some question marks in how Autry could develop. Is Fasusi going to be a guy you put there in the future? Maybe next year, a year from now when he develops, or guard, left tackle. We'll see. But Luke's officially part of this class, protecting who many hope their quarterback is in John Mateer. Brandon, we're going to stick to the tackles for this video. What do you think Luke brings to this line overall? And do you think Oklahoma should get, or how many more offensive linemen do you think Oklahoma should try to get in this target season or portal season?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the offensive line was the worst group on the field last season. I think they started to show some flashes late. They started to play a lot better football, but that's not saying a whole lot considering how bad the first half of the season was. So, I mean, I think Baklenko probably comes to Oklahoma with the intent to start. I think if he looks at how it looked last season, I think there's still question marks at both tackle spots. I think Holland played pretty well towards the end of the season, but I still feel like there's going to be a competition throughout the entire line going into the 2025 season. So I think he's going to have a chance to start. And if not, he's going to be a guy that has a lot of experience playing both sides of the tackles and just an experienced smart kid. He's out of Stanford. So if nothing else, he'll be a very nice depth piece to have, if things aren't going right for whoever's playing tackle or if we have some injuries or something like that. But, overall, I think it's a good get. It's never bad to add more guys up front. He's a big kid too. I think he's 6'6", 305 is what they have him listed at. Obviously, you think he's pretty smart if he went to Stanford, so he brings that over there. We'll see. As far as how many more we need, you lose Eugene Brooks today, so I think you probably need to get a guard, maybe a guard or two, maybe another tackle. that Washington State tackle who just hit the portal today as well. I think he'd be a nice addition. We'll see how that plays out. Falili Famo, I definitely didn't say that right, but that's something like that. If he decided to come to Crimson and Cream Land, I don't think anybody would be too upset. Maybe we end up getting his quarterback and John Mateer. Maybe John gives him a call and gets him to come down too. We'll see. There's a lot of portal season left to go.
Yeah, and I think I would expect Luke to be Oklahoma's right tackle or the favorite to be the right tackle going to next season because of that experience he has. He does have 2 years of eligibility left and his red shirt if they need it. So he's not going to be there for 1 year. He's someone that more than likely develops over the next couple of seasons before moving on to whatever's next, either flexing his brain and going into a career field or heading to the NFL. And with Coach B being the guy that's developing him, I think that the hopes and what he would expect to come out of this is to be in a position to be in the NFL draft. How many more they need? I'm of the mindset that the left side is secured. Like, is Howland a future first round pick as we speak today? No, he's not. And I think that isn't crazy to say. But he played well as he started to figure out what was going on. Finally having real game action helped him, which isn't a surprise. I think once you finally give these guys some live bullets that they have to practice against and work through, they understand what it's like. And practice at the end of the day, as hard as you may go, that the other guy that the guy on the other side of the field is gonna try to protect you as well because you're teammates. And to some extent, what's going on. You have an idea. If you mess up, they're either gonna stop play or you're subbed out for a play, but there's no real damage that happens. There's nothing on the line. When you fuck up in a game, it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost the team, and that's when it can hurt more. So I'm glad that he did get that experience. That's why I think him and Ozida should be the left side going into next season, and it shouldn't be much of a debate if you ask me. And I hope that Coach B is kind of on that same wavelength.
What if Asusi's a star?
If Asusi's a star, then get him to the right side. Right? I think then at that point, it's like you mentioned, Luke can be a good depth piece if an injury were to happen, and he can play that swing tackle. But there's no reason to. It's not if it's not broken, don't fix it. It's let it develop. And if it's like by game 3, it's not looking any better, and you believe you have someone better on your bench, like a Fasusi or Luke, or if you get another tackle out of the portal, then at least you're like, okay, I gave this kid a shot. He played 6 games. He wasn't starting quality. What I expect out of my starting left tackle. We have to move on.
So
But
do you
after
think
5 games, he played well enough where you were like, man, this is a very evident improvement from the first game he played to the last game he played.
so? If Oklahoma is to land like a Falili Famo, that left tackle out of Washington, you don't think that he's going to start day one over Holland? And if so, is that something that you would like to see, or do you kind of, in a sense, hope we don't land him or don't look at him?
I don't think there's a necessity to go get him. From my perspective, you got your tackle, or a tackle where you can feel more secure going into the season on the right side. You get a guard because it's a similar position that you're left in with the right guard position. You hope that a guy like Akin Kunmi, Eugene Brooks would have stuck around him, Josh Isosa, Sean Hutton from this class. Maybe Faji can kick inside for a season to develop. You hope someone can step up and take that right guard spot. But I understand the argument of you have to come in with some sort of security blanket, and that's what the transfer portal at the end of the day is there for this kind of predicament. But you also need a center, not so much to start, because Troy Everett, from my understanding, does have 1 more year of eligibility. So as long as he stays healthy, he should be your starting center. You need someone to back him up. There's no one on the current roster that was like, this is clearly the next guy up. You lost Joshua Bates. So who's going to back up Troy Everett if an injury were to happen, or the year after. What's the plan there? There's not a succession plan. So that's where I'm at with the tackles. The offensive lineman. You take two more, a guard that can move into center if necessary, or maybe one more tackle just in case of injuries, because you are having to prepare for that kind of stuff now after last season. I'm sure that some of that is going to carry over of like maybe the over preparation to make sure you're not in that same spot as you were a year ago. But there's would I like to get Lili Amo, or however the hell you say his name? Yes, I think it'd be crazy to say no. But is it worth? In my head, is the process I go through. Is it worth putting yourself behind on like high school recruiting? Because if how let's say Lili comes to Oklahoma and he's your starting left tackle, why would Logan Howland stick around
Probably
after
does.
this next season, right? And then
He
you
does.
kind of put
But I
yourself in a
think
spot where how do you sell Oklahoma to high school recruits for offensive line? Like you're gonna say, well, we're gonna develop you, which is true. Coach B has put very many guys in the NFL, but then he's also shown over the last 3 seasons that he's more than likely going to hit the portal because you are seen as an inexperienced player. But you've never had the opportunity to show what you can do in a real game.
yeah, no, I mean I get it. It's an interesting thing. I think just back to Luke Baklenko. At the end of the day, it is a good day in Oklahoma. It's a good day for Coach B. He gets Baklenko again, if nothing else, a very experienced guy who can play both sides of the tackle spot. He's going to be, if nothing else, a really good piece to have. As far as depth goes, it's never bad to have somebody that has a lot of experience on both sides available in your back pocket if he doesn't end up a starter. So that's always fun. And then he got Will Conroy, a 3-star tackle in the 2026 class. So yeah, I think Coach B had a good day. It was nice overall to see some wins today go down after a slow start to the portal. Maybe later this week we'll see some good news on the John Mateer train, and then I think if you do end up getting John Mateer, because I'm holding off until it's official, because a lot of people are pretty excited and saying it's over. I'm holding off until it's real, but if you land John Mateer, I think that's a big domino and a lot will follow, and that's the hope.
I think that's a fair expectation to have. Do you have anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
No.
Cool. I think Brandon said it there perfectly. There's a lot of things that went well for Oklahoma today, and hopefully a lot more things that will get better as the week goes on. Hopefully you all enjoyed today's topic. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on all social media, link down in the description below. We appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time.